In response to the recent mass shootings, the federal government could try to push North Carolina to make changes to its gun laws.
The bipartisan agreement just announced in the Senate would incentivize states to pass red flag laws that could lead to someone's guns being taken if they are a danger.
Our Capitol reporter Michael Hyland is live in Raleigh. And Michael, more than a dozen states have laws like this.
Right, and that includes some states led by Republicans. But here in North Carolina, Republican leaders have not taken up any bills that Democrats have filed to establish a red flag law, and they don't plan to do so anytime soon. A series of mass shootings has led to a bipartisan agreement on new federal measures dealing with security and gun safety. Both of North Carolina's Republican senators, Thom Tillis and Richard Burr, are backing the proposal, but the details are still unclear. It'll include resources for states to adopt what's known as a red flag law. That would allow a judge to temporarily remove someone's guns after determining they're a threat to themselves or others.
I saw it as a judge. There are warning signs.
Democratic State Representative Marcia Morey has advocated for this for years.
It's almost a wildfire waiting to happen. We need to give people some peace of mind that there are things we can do and we can protect more people than we are.
19 states and D.C. have a law like this. Republican House Speaker Tim Moore says North Carolina won't be next.
All you do is you disarm those who are law-abiding citizens, making them easier targets.
Some states only allow law enforcement to petition a court to consider this. Morey's bill goes further, expanding that ability to petition to family members, former dating partners, and healthcare providers.
I think the idea is laudable and reasonable, but some of those laws are not.
Greg Wallace is a professor at Campbell Law School and an expert on the Second Amendment.
I think they can be legitimate if they have fair procedures that respect due process and don't punish innocent victims.
Wallace also says there's mixed evidence on red flag laws reducing the number of suicides that occur in states that have adopted them. But he says if they can make a small dent in that number, that would be significant because those deaths account for nearly 2/3 of the deaths in our country involving firearms. Live in Raleigh, Michael Hyland, CBS 17 News.
All right, Michael, thank you.